this? Like bloody tracks of some sort. I actually don't even think it was a big bug. Check this out. Isn't it incredible?
Yes, sir.
Tonight, we look at 6 disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. Real moments, real danger. Don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying footage like this. Let's begin. In January 2025, a solo backpacker from the YouTube channel Nomad Unknown set off on her first journey of the year, venturing alone into one of the most notorious stretches of wilderness in Arizona. Her channel, typically filled with serene trail footage and informative narration, had never captured anything quite like this. What began as a peaceful, well-planned hike through sun-scorched canyons and dry riverbeds quickly gave way to something far more unsettling.
Water rolling down my face. It's not tears, it's sweat. I already had to stop and layer down and lather up on the sunscreen. I'm trying to wear like sun shirts and things like that to protect my skin, but it's just too hot for that. I can't breathe. And I'm gonna get a heat-related illness. There's the parking lot down there. Just did a nice hearty climb to start with on the Bluff Spring Trail. And looks like I've crested this ridge. And let's find out. Unfortunately, the map I have is not in tremendous detail. It was the smallest scale map I could find at 1:70, but actually I think it's 1:60. I had to search pretty hard for that one. And on this route that I'm doing also does not exist as a ready-made route or already uploaded route on all trails. So I am just following my mapped route.
The desert was quiet, eerily so. The only sounds were the crunch of her boots on gravel and the whisper of wind through brittle brush. As she followed the trail deeper into the canyon, something odd caught her attention.
What is this? Like bloody tracks of some sort. Well, we should definitely follow them. Of course, they're leading in the other direction. Is there a crime scene up here? Weird. I don't see an origin. Oh, here's more. Okay. Through here. Let's see. Here they continue. Let's follow. That's a long way. Okay. It's up there. Actually, there are still some faint signs of blood along the trail here. Nothing here. Oh, there's some rock right there where my head shadow is. There we go.
A dark streak smeared across a rock. Then another. Faint paw prints veered off the path, disappearing into the scrub. She paused, crouching to examine them. Her tone remained calm, reasoning it was likely a predator, maybe a mountain lion or coyote, dragging prey through the area. Still, something about it lingered in her mind. Later that afternoon, she pitched her tent near a spring, a rare source of water in the dry expanse. As the sun began to dip, the air seemed to shift.
Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous about this camp. Yeah, I just feel a little uneasy about it. Maybe it's just been such a long time since I've camped out in a tent in a place that I'm not familiar with, that the feeling is coming from that, but also part of my logical mind just reasons that, I'm here because of the proximity to water, and the wild animals that live in this area have the same interest. And when I first got here, I heard some rustling of what I'll say is a mammal up the hill just away. And yeah, it makes me nervous. I mean, this is definitely a established campsite for humans, but also just in the tree right above my tent is bird feathers. And looks like something happened to the bird. And I didn't discover that until after I just finished setting up the tent. But whether I'm right here or over there, I don't know that it makes much of a difference. And there's also an odor. I don't know if somebody just didn't handle their business properly and did it too close to camp, or I don't know if I'm smelling an animal or something, but I'm a little bit disturbed. But this is where I'm camping for tonight, so time to suck it up, buttercup, you know? Hey! Get out of here! Get out of here! Okay, whatever that is, it is not intimidated by me, and I can't see anything, but I can hear it, and hopefully you can hear it too, to know I'm not crazy. I got 1 liter of water. I'm getting out of here. I'm not staying here tonight. Are you freaking kidding me? It's not even dark yet. Right, I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm not trying to be dramatic, I swear. Like, I heard some stuff when I first got there, and I figured I had scared it away. And even though it smelled weird and I was feeling nervous, I was like, mind over matter, it's fine, you're fine, just tell yourself you're fine. I got about 1 liter of water out of that spring. I don't think I'm being stalked. I actually don't even think it was a big... Okay, I'm still paranoid. Actually, I don't even think it was a big cat. No, I'm not paranoid. That's fresh scat.
It felt thicker, charged. A sharp, metallic scent hung low, and when she looked up, she noticed scattered feathers clinging to the branches above her camp. Then came the sound. Faint at first. A steady rustle in the brush. It didn't fade. It didn't retreat. It circled. At some point, her instincts took over. She didn't wait for nightfall. She grabbed her pack, broke camp in silence, and walked away, never once looking back. Some viewers believe she unknowingly camped near a fresh kill, and the mountain lion responsible had returned. Others aren't so sure. They point to the feathers, the smell, the silence, and something more elusive, something older, stranger. In the Superstition Mountains, not everything that stalks you leaves footprints, and many wonder, what might have happened if she had stayed just 1 more hour? Hold on a sec. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. Sean, the explorer behind a popular UK-based camping channel, is known for his peaceful solo journeys into nature. His content typically highlights quiet forests, remote landscapes, and the solitude of van life. But in February 2024, one of his trips turned into something far more unsettling.
I mean, I am parked on the side of a road. I have parked across from a bit of a clearing. After last week's video, where I had a little bit of aggro, I decided this week I'm just going to come out in the middle of nowhere so that I can have a little bit of downtime.
On this particular outing, Sean had chosen a remote roadside clearing, surrounded by thick woodland, hoping for a quiet night after experiencing some tension on a previous trip. He spent a few hours hiking in the nearby forest, then returned to his van, ready to relax.
I think I'm just going to go to bed. Cozy. All being well, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. A car's just pulled up, and it sounds like they're walking around the van.
Later that evening, after one final walk, he climbed into the van, settled in, and signed off for the night, expecting nothing more than a peaceful sleep. But around 3 a.m., he was suddenly awakened by the sound of an approaching vehicle. Listening closely, he realized someone had pulled up nearby, and footsteps began circling his van. Alarmed, he peeked through the curtains, catching a glimpse of individuals moving outside before they quickly returned to their car and sped away. The incident was disturbing, but it wasn't until morning that the true nature of what happened became clear.
My door's stuck. What the actual... See that?
As Sean tried to exit his van the next day, he found the door wouldn't budge. It was jammed. Forcing it open, he discovered the reason. Someone had zip-tied the handles from the outside. Heavy-duty plastic ties had been wrapped tightly around the door mechanisms, effectively locking him inside. Upon further inspection, the rear doors had also been tampered with. The same zip ties fastened across the handles. Whoever had approached the van in the night had clearly intended to restrict his movement. Why someone would do this remained unclear. Sean speculated it could have been an attempt at theft, perhaps targeting his fuel supply, or maybe a warning from locals who didn't appreciate overnight visitors. Another possibility, someone was simply trying to frighten him for their own amusement. Whatever the motive, the encounter was enough to shake anyone. The use of zip ties suggests premeditation. This wasn't a random act. It's possible the individuals were testing how Sean would react, or worse, preparing to escalate further if he hadn't noticed in time. The fact that they fled once he stirred indicates they were not expecting him to be alert, or that they weren't prepared for confrontation. Was it a prank, a theft attempt, or something more sinister left unfinished? And more importantly, what might have happened if he hadn't woken up? Nick and Julie are typically known for their peaceful truck camping experiences. Calm journeys focused on nature, rest, and slow adventure. But their visit to Kentucky's Red River Gorge took an unexpected turn, standing out starkly from the rest of their content. The day began normally.
Hi guys, welcome to a new video. We're in the Red River Gorge in Kentucky, heading up to the Natural Bridge on their skylift. This is so cool. I like this hike up to the bridge. We just came from all the way back there.
This is way more than 100 feet.
This must be the top of the Natural Bridge, and there's no fencing or anything. And it's actually pretty slippery because it's sandstone.
Yeah, there's
no railing, nothing.
You just slide off.
I did not know that this was Kentucky.
Yeah. I don't travel Kentucky much.
No. Wow. I think this is called the Fat Man Squeeze. Probably try sideways. No?
Take my backpack off. This is crazy. I'm not even fat.
Oh, wow.
With a scenic ride up the skylift to the Natural Bridge, one of the area's most iconic formations.
Going from the skylift down, we actually get a reveal of the giant arch, the giant natural bridge here. Check this out. Isn't that incredible? So this Red River Gorge has a lot of natural formations. I think over 100 natural arches and natural bridges like this. And this one is one of the biggest ones, one of the most popular ones.
That's kind of humongous.
It is 65 feet tall and 75 feet across. That's incredible that this is just natural like that. So beautiful.
It's a pizza oven. Yeah, there will be a pizza oven. Make a fire in there. Do pizza.
For sure.
Pizza here.
Yeah.
That's it.
You must be hungry. so pretty along the trail. We took the sky lift on the way up and we're hiking down. I think that was definitely a good idea because it's pretty steep. I feel like you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it smells
It's
good.
a beautiful hike too.
It smells really good here.
And it's a little bit easier going down than up, so.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You can smell the pine.
Can't believe the rhododendrons are still in bloom up here. We're in July already and they're still blooming.
The sandstone arch offered breathtaking views and steep trails, and the couple documented their hike as they made their way down through the blooming forest. By late afternoon, they returned to their vehicle and began looking for a place to camp. Armed with a valid permit, they ventured deeper into the Daniel Boone National Forest. Eventually, they came upon a remote clearing near a creek, seemingly secluded and serene. The sun was beginning to set, and all they could hear were birds and the gentle sound of running water. But as they began setting up camp, signs of prior activity caught their attention.
We haven't seen anyone around yet, but some things are kind of sketchy around here. First of all, there's a bottle of alcohol in the tree. And then there's a bunch of gun shells. There's a shotgun shell. There's a gun cartridge there. There's some broken glass. There's another gun cartridge. When we were driving in, we broke our boost antenna. Probably got snagged on a tree branch or something. I'm feeling creeped out right now.
Yeah, I think so.
People sometimes come here to party and shoot guns or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and they drive four-wheelers and stuff.
Yeah,
There's
this is all like
tire tracks and
mud, so hopefully it'll be a quiet night.
it should be. We've been here for like an hour. There's nobody driving.
Scattered around the area were spent shotgun shells, broken glass, and discarded alcohol containers, some of which were tucked into tree hollows. Deep tire tracks suggested that off-road vehicles had torn through the spot recently. It wasn't what they expected from such a remote location, but with no one around, they decided to stay for the night. That changed quickly. While preparing dinner, the situation took a disturbing turn.
While we were making dinner, some like 2 4-wheelers drove up from the woods and they kind of just like parked in front of our truck and camper, and they just stood there for about like, how long do you think it was? Like a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're not sure what that was all about.
Yeah, they already left, but I don't know if I want to stay here. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it's worth the risk or whatever, just in case.
Yeah, we're not sure what it was all about.
Yeah.
If it was just, they're just standing there for no reason, or if they just don't want people staying here.
Who
or,
knows?
Yeah, I'm not
they
sure.
didn't say anything. They just parked in front of the truck.
Yeah, so it's just
for
kind of
20
weird.
minutes.
There's no service here,
Yeah.
and it's just in the middle of the woods. There's no one here, so we don't know what that was all about.
I think it's best to just pack up and leave at this point, just in case. Who knows? Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So we're going to clean up our stuff and head out. Oh, too bad. That's all right. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to be heading out, but thank you guys for watching this video.
2 individuals on 4-wheelers emerged from the woods and stopped directly in front of the couple's truck and camper. They didn't speak, didn't wave. They simply stood there for nearly 20 minutes in silence. With no cell service and no one nearby, the tension became unbearable. Nick and Julie chose not to take any chances. They packed their things and drove off into the night, abandoning their plans to stay. No threats were made, no words exchanged, but the unspoken discomfort was enough. This wasn't a case of casual curiosity or a misunderstanding. It was something harder to define, an atmosphere that warned them to leave. The encounter may have been nothing more than an awkward misunderstanding or the presence of locals who felt territorial. But the signs, ammo, alcohol, and silent intimidation, suggest a different possibility, that the area was frequented by people not wanting company or attention. With no way to communicate or ask for help, Nick and Julie made the right call by trusting their instincts. What would you have done in their situation? Was this an innocent coincidence, or something more deliberate and threatening? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Uploaded on July 7th, 2025, this footage comes from a brand new channel, one that appears to be documenting someone's early steps into the world of solo forest exploration. According to the video description, the plan was simple: a short nighttime walk to try out new gear, grab a few shots, and head back. But what the camera ended up capturing was anything but routine. The clip begins with dim footage from a flashlight weaving through dense trees. There's no music, no voiceover, only the crunch of leaves underfoot and the occasional snap of a branch from somewhere beyond the light. The woods feel suffocating, silent, and too still. Then, something changes.
Just gonna ignore that. There's the next path. Here it is. Just gonna have to cross over this. The fuck? Just a minute. I saw something. I'm just scared, guys. What's that? Okay. Strange. Definitely hearing things. Okay.
A pair of glowing eyes catches the beam of light from the camera. Faint, far away, but unmistakable. The figure doesn't move. There's no sound, no reaction. It simply stands there, upright, watching. The uploader doesn't zoom in or approach. Instead, they whisper into the darkness, unsure of what they're seeing. They later describe the shape as humanoid, tall, motionless, and oddly proportioned, something that didn't quite resemble an animal. Visibly shaken, they retreat, and the footage ends shortly after. The chilling part isn't just what was seen, it's how it was seen. There's no dramatization, no editing, no jump scares. Just raw footage from someone who clearly wasn't expecting to witness anything out of the ordinary. Could this have been a prank? Another person in the woods? Or perhaps a curious animal caught at the perfect angle? Maybe, but the upright posture, the silence, and the total stillness don't fit any easy explanation. There's no resolution, not yet. But the creator left a note in the description, stating they plan to return and investigate further. Whether that will happen remains to be seen. Until then, we're left with a question. If you were alone in the woods and saw that, would you keep filming? Or would you run? The YouTube channel Roadie typically showcases peaceful vlogs about living on the road, capturing nature, solitude, and the freedom of truck life. But in December 2017, one video stood out from the rest. In this upload, the creator reflects on a disturbing situation that happened earlier that year during a routine night of car camping. While parked in a lot and trying to get some sleep in the back of his truck, something strange unfolded just after 1 a.m.
So it was probably around like 1:30 in the morning when I heard someone walking around my truck. And whenever you're sleeping, somewhere public and you hear somebody walking right outside your truck, it's always a little bit alarming. So what you'll see here in a second, he pulls out his phone and starts taking pictures. It looks like of my license plate or something like that. I'm not sure why he was doing this. So I thought maybe, I wasn't allowed to park there and he was taking pictures of my license plate, but it's kind of odd to be doing that at 1:30 in the morning. And he didn't look like a security guard or anything like that.
A hooded man began walking slowly around the truck. The truck bed, where the uploader was sleeping, was completely dark, making it likely the man didn't know someone was inside. Unaware he was being recorded, the man pulled out his phone and began taking photos of the license plates and various parts of the vehicle. For several minutes, the individual circled the truck. The uploader remained silent, watching from inside as the man moved suspiciously around the vehicle. He didn't appear to be law enforcement or security, and for someone to be photographing a private vehicle at that hour in that way was clearly unsettling.
He comes back around and tries to shine his flashlight into the back of my camper shell. You'll see here in a second, and I just bang on the window, and he takes off running. So he probably wasn't expecting that.
The situation escalated when the man moved to the side window and attempted to peer inside using a flashlight. At that point, the uploader made the decision to make his presence known, slamming his fist against the truck interior to startle the intruder. The reaction was immediate. The man panicked and ran off without hesitation. Although the uploader was unharmed and the man never returned, the intentions behind the late-night visitor remain unknown. It could have been someone casing the vehicle for theft, or perhaps something worse. Whatever the case, the uploader's quick reaction may have prevented a more dangerous scenario. Given the man's erratic behavior, several possibilities come to mind. He might have been planning a break-in, unaware the vehicle was occupied. His lack of a uniform or clear purpose rules out most official explanations. The fact that he fled so quickly after being discovered suggests guilt, or at the very least, fear of being caught. Had the uploader remained silent, the outcome might have been very different. Would you have waited in silence, or confronted the stranger sooner? Phil, the creator behind the Hike Slam YouTube channel, is widely known for documenting his outdoor treks across Virginia. But during an overnight hike in November 2021, just a day before Thanksgiving, his trip took an eerie turn. He had set out to explore a segment of the Appalachian Trail close to his home, expecting a peaceful adventure. But only 30 minutes into the journey, things began to feel off.
So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat, some writing on some of this garbage. This one. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Song lyrics, other weird things. Well, hopefully I don't get murdered out here. That would totally ruin my day. Well, let's keep going.
Along the trail, he came across a scattered pile of litter, beer cans, random debris, and notably, a bat, all marked with cryptic scribbles. One of the items featured ominous lyrics referencing a hanging. Phil brushed it off at first, joking about the bizarre scene, and decided to continue on. But the further he went, the stranger things became. A short while later, he stumbled upon another disturbing discovery. A recently deceased duck, placed deliberately next to a long handwritten message. The note had been neatly set between rocks, untouched by moisture, and appeared freshly left behind.
The weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here. A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. Alright. Kinda creepy.
The duck, too, hadn't been there long, which only deepened the unease. Alarmed by the repeated oddities, Phil decided to alter his route. Instead of sticking to his original campsite, he turned around and hiked 2 miles to a nearby shelter, hoping it would be safer. But the strange pattern didn't stop.
The weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here. A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. Alright. Kind of creepy.
That night, while looking through the shelter's logbook, a tradition on the Appalachian Trail where hikers jot down notes and trail updates, he noticed something chilling. One entry stood out not because of what it said, but because of how it was written. The handwriting bore an uncanny resemblance to the writing found earlier among the trash and notes. Upon reading, the entry became even more unsettling. It referenced unrelated song lyrics, jail time, religious verses, and disjointed political commentary.
So, I'm gonna check out the shelter log here. I hang out by the fire. Almost every shelter on the Appalachian Trail has a shelter log where people write in their trail names and what's going on. They can write whatever they want in there. So it's kind of cool tradition here. So let's see what this one says. Little engine, back section. Hiking again finally. Great day on the AT. This was in August. Huh. Someone left some PBRs here, I guess. It's nice and little trail magic. Some comics and writing and stuff. Alright, let's see what's happened recently. Holy crap. Wait a second. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust the camera here. This writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here. Let's see if this makes any sense. Sorry if the lighting's bad. I'm just gonna see what it says. Cleaned the outhouse. Picked up trash. Collected wood for others. See Charlie Daniels' Simple Man lyrics, which I used in 2013 Facebook post. And note the rope I found with the silicone sealant can 2 miles south of that. I left it on a stump. In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail, what the heck? In solitary confinement, I figured the following out. Refer to Isaiah 28:15 through 9. Here in early 2017, Trump, Nebo, allowed Obama to have the special use of the Air Force One for a trip to Palm Springs. This is the same ramblings from the guy that was on the other side of the river. That's kind of scary.
All eerily similar in tone to what he had seen miles back. It was enough to suggest that whoever had left those original messages may have been following the same trail, or possibly still nearby. Later that night, as Phil tried to fall asleep, he heard approaching footsteps outside the shelter. The sound grew louder, confirming that someone, or something, was in the area. Feeling exposed and vulnerable, Phil made a swift decision. He packed up and hiked back to his vehicle in the dark. The pattern of notes and the disturbing placement of the duck suggest intent, not just random littering. Whether the person behind it was mentally unstable, trying to communicate something obscure, or deliberately trying to frighten hikers remains unclear. The matching handwriting over several miles adds to the concern that Phil wasn't alone on that trail. That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.